Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another gameplay slice, a video with the sole purpose to give you a good understanding of a specific part of a game or the game in general. Today I have for you Wolcen with the new patch called Aegis of Stormfall, also known as patch 1.1.5.0. And spoiler, it's actually pretty good for a Wolcen Content patch. A few bugs of course, but this time nothing game breaking. I think that's a first, at least for me. I put 11 hours into the patch so far and I know what I want to show you. In this video expect gameplay of the new endgame, War Table. I'll show you the new cosmetics and that's pretty much it. Because honestly, that is pretty much it. So here we are in the game. I have this character, it's a summoner, as I'm sure you can see. I have actually unlocked all of the new cosmetics. I can show you over here. You get this mirror-made ship, and if you want to unlock all of these, they cost 100,000 gold and 5,000 production. And once you do, you unlock the new set items. And I think it's great that they have this, honestly. Like, they have created a bunch of cool looking new set and unique armors. It's got this, it's got this, it's got this one. I like this one in particular, to be honest. And this one. And this one. So I have researched and unlocked all of them, and I can show you a little bit if you're interested. So this is one of the new armors that I'm currently wearing, if my minions aren't in the way, but this is what it looks like. And there's a few others as well, so I think this looks pretty amazing, honestly. And if you scroll down, you see quite a few of the others as well. You can unlock all of them, play around with these, mix and match whatever you want. I just went for a full set there. But it is completely up to you to customize your character. And this is one of the better features of Wolcen in my opinion. So it's great that they have done this. And then you go over here. This is the new war table right over here. And here you're gonna see something new. The consumables will automatically be picked up from your chest or from your inventory if you have them. So this is just a decent quality of life feature right there. If you ever want to run a Wealth Omen map or a bounty target map, you just put all of these in your chest and then you're pretty much good to go. And then over here you have the new endgame. Now 3 of the 7 activities that you can do over here, they already existed. You had the mandates, and these are previously these were on the mandate board, and now these are just the exact same thing. The Wrath of Sabotage, that was already available as well. You had to put 4 modifiers on the map and then you would unlock this mode. This was already the case last time as well, but now you don't have to pay additional primordial essence for it. You can just run these things and they will give you specific rewards, which I'll get into just a little bit. And then Headhunt is one of the new endgame activities that you can do. So we will be doing this because I want to show you the new stuff. But before we get into this, I'm gonna talk a little bit more about this UI. You can see both the loot type and rarity that you're going to receive when you successfully complete this, which is very useful. So if I complete this, I will get legendary rings and I will also get 10 skulls. And the skulls are the new progression system, which you can see over here. So over here I have Paragon, I can click on it and here you can see the progression system. It is basically the old progression system, you could say. In order to reach and increase levels, what I need to do is collect these skulls and then I unlock another 3 levels. And it goes like this on and on and on and on until you go into a new difficulty section, I suppose, until you go into Ascended. So I need to collect 183 more skulls. Now this morning, or actually late last night when the patch dropped, I started I think in Champion and I worked my way up today all the way up to 130, and this is the new progression system. Each different mission has different skull rewards. This is specifically a lot harder, the Wrath of Sabotage, than for example a mandate, and the mandate will give you fewer skulls. Another thing to note, by the way, is that these missions don't change. Even if you die, they stay the same, so you need to complete one of them. You can do this by, if you have troubles, you can lower the difficulty, of course, complete one and then they reset to something else. Or you can just pick one of the lower difficulty ones, because this is basically the stars, how difficult it's going to be. 3 diamonds, I guess it is the hardest, and this can be pretty rough, to be honest. We'll do the headhunt because this is new. And last thing that you can do apart from the difficulty settings and apart from the rewards is you can, like in the old systems, add the area modifiers, which give you more productivity, more magic find and more item quantity. So nothing changed in that regard. You can spend quite a bit of money and get more rewards. But what you will not get is additional skills, as far as I know. As a matter of fact, let's just test it out right now. This we might get pretty rough stuff here, but we'll see. So we'll pick 5 modifiers. The only thing that happened is that the productivity and magic find and quantity is moving up, but it has no effect on the rewards. The portal opens up, you can go through it, of course, and then you end up over here. And this is the Headhunter. This is just a single enemy you need to kill in a very small area. So, here we go. This is not going to take long, typically, unless I die. I don't really know what kind of modifiers I just put on this dude. So, it might be pretty rough, but he's already halfway health, so I don't think it's too crazy. And there we go. We made it. Did we even get a little bit of loot? We got a sorcerer chest piece. The loot filter still in place, of course. That didn't change either. And this is literally one of the 4 new missions. It is always like this. It is the Headhunter is always the same thing. So it is a super small area with a single boss. Let's do this again. And we got the same thing. We got Onslaught. That's a new one too. So we'll show this. And Headhunt, which is the same thing as we just did, and Sabotage. So these are all 3 new activities. I can try and show you Sabotage, or well, I will show you Sabotage, but I can try to complete it. This is very difficult. You can see what it does. This is the same area that we were just in, but now it has settled around a ward stone. This is basically a 3 or 4 phase fight, where there is a ward stone in the middle which you need to kill, but at some point it becomes immune, and then new enemies spawn. You need to kill those. Then you can attack the ward stone again. It becomes immune again. It's rinse and repeat until you clear the mission, or a lot more likely until I die, because this is very difficult. So you see, once again, there's by the way also an audio bug here. At least I'm assuming it's an audio bug, because I can't imagine that this is supposed to happen. So I'll lower the sound a little bit of this, because, you know, I don't want to blow your eardrums out, but this is not a necessarily pleasant audio experience here. Also, it becomes really messy in here, because it's such a small area. You can see it's the area of the second boss, right, in the second act. The Lombok boss, or whatever her name was, right? That's what this area is. Yeah, I get randomly one shot, but with bosses like this. This is really difficult, because there's no space pretty much, and so it's hard to dodge things and see things. These wardstone missions are definitely the most difficult. You can see that this is the ward thing, but you need to kill the sphere, right? The sphere, whatever that thing is called, and try to not get hit by the poison. So as soon as I kill the alpha here, which is, you know, it's gonna be close. Yeah, now I can kill the ward again, which my minions are doing currently. while I'm trying to not die, but that's not that easy. And now the ward is immune again, I think. So now there should be another alpha sphere. There we are. And now I need to kill it again. And this is it. So that's another game mode that I wanted to show you. Whether we fail or succeed, I think you get the picture. I think you also get the picture that this can be extremely difficult. Because there's so much going on the screen, and it's, in my case at least, I found it pretty, like, I had a hard time avoiding that little green ball, right? I saw it, kind of. But yeah, because it's so small and there's so much going on, it's just pretty difficult, in my experience at least. And there we go. Okay, so we failed. So I typically am not able to make those missions happen. However, fortunately there are others as well, but you're gonna see the similarities between these three, because they are very, very, very similar. I'll increase the sound a little bit more again. So just a small recap, right? Headhunt was a single boss in that small room. Sabotage is basically a 3 or 4 phase fight, including a bunch of bosses and the pillar in the middle in that same room. And now we're gonna do Onslaught. Watch carefully and, you know, count the differences. Once again, very small room. And with Onslaught, it is basically just a bunch of bosses, but no pillar in between. Let me steal that enemy over there. So now he is mine. So here it is basically just kill all the enemies. Sometimes you will see which ones you actually need to kill. You can tell by the minimap, for example, because they are the skulls. Those are the guys that you need to kill, but you can just let the minions, in my case, do the work. This is a good build for a commentary, to be honest. And I found the minions in the new patch, and also in the latest patch, or the last patch. It's pretty decent, right? The minions are not too bad. But here you see another alpha sphere, right? It's not possible. Now you just need to kill these. But this is a lot easier, because there's no ward in the middle spawning poison orbs all over the place. Kind of a big difference, if you ask me. So I'm just trying to focus on the bosses and doing some debuffs. I'm not really like the last videos that I did with builds in them. I'm not gonna focus too much on the build here, because that's really not the focus of the video. I really want to show you the new endgame content and what you can do over here. And I'm not really, you know, having the idea that this is a great build in any way. For me, it's been fine. You know my build philosophy perhaps by now. Like, I don't need to run the absolute strongest stuff out there. I think this is just a very straightforward minion build with all the minion skills that are available. And then I have Parasite, which makes me steal one of them. So now this gold test is mine. I have Plague Burst, which is an area that does poison effect, just like all my minions do poison effect. And it also explodes everybody who dies inside. And I have a double sort of black hole vortex thing, which does poison damage and also pulls the enemies in, which I can cast twice, which I just did. That's pretty much the entire build. Alright, and then we have the last mode over here. This is called Curse Breaker, and this is pretty much an escort quest. Here we go, right? I get a companion, that's great. A bug, nice. And then this is the robot, Arcanon. Arcanon.
Come to me. Deal with my assailants while I light the beacons and take care. More enemies will come.
So you click on her, she starts walking. I mean, this is just your typical escort quest. I don't even know really what to say about it. But I think visually, it's very appealing. I really like where this is going and what they've done with this. So you have this black sort of fog. It reminds me almost a little bit of Prometheus. You've guys seen that movie when at some point like the corpses of the old aliens or the old gods, they sort of start to decompose on the spot and like this black goo comes out of it. It reminds me a little bit of that. I just feel it's really well done, this whole thing graphically. She starts lighting up this beacon, and there we go. You know, we have the beacon, a little bit like the Path of Exile beacon.
Let us pursue the next one.
You click on her again and she starts moving, and you just need to follow her. If you go out of this, first she starts shouting at you, that's one thing, but also you see my health is slowly going down, and I will actually die if I stay outside of the radius here. So even though, for example, on the map we're gonna have one of those, beetles that give you a lot of gold and potentially legendary items and whatnot, I can't really go and chase the beetle. Because I can stay maybe outside for a few seconds, so I can sort of try, right? But now it's already really going to hurt. So I'll leave that up to you if you enjoy this sort of thing. I don't think I've ever met someone who enjoys escort quest, but you know, for the clarity of endgame and just for the showing you purposes, I will do this. And yeah, you see how it goes. It's pretty slow, as you would expect of an escort quest. Like, these guys are never in a hurry, and she isn't either. She's walking extremely slow, even though we're being attacked from all sides, so you might expect that maybe she, gets a move on, but not really, not really. And also, clearly, this mission takes a lot longer than the small missions that I was just in. It's a massive difference, as I'm sure you can already tell. I mean, I could have done by now three headhunt missions, and probably one or two of those ward missions, if I had, enough DPS, or if it's not like a 3-star mission, because that's just across the board relatively difficult. But just because we want to be, let's say, thorough with this gameplay slice, we're going to show you. We're here at the second beacon. Whenever she starts lighting this, the shit pretty much hits the fan. There's gonna be all sorts of people walking in, both bosses and other things as well. So you really need to be on your toes. It can be pretty hectic because you got a relatively small area to fight in, as I'm sure you can tell. Once again, that's kind of the theme of this endgame. Like, tight and narrow spaces. Tight and narrow circular spaces that they want you to fight in for some reason. Not entirely sure why, but yeah. We need to click on her, otherwise she doesn't move. So let's click on her. You should also be able to kill the boss, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Is he gonna drop anything, or...? No. Well, he is, but doesn't show up on my loot filter. So we need one more beacon. I think it's always 4 beacons in that sense. Oh, we need to click on her. I think it's always 4 beacons, and the last beacon is always at the end of the level. As sometimes if she really gets hurt like this, she's gonna just stop for a little bit. I don't think the enemies can actually kill her and then you fail the mission. At least that hasn't happened to me. Maybe it's possible, but it hasn't happened to me. If she takes too much damage, what happens is that her shield breaks and she just stands still for a little bit. And then her shield recharges and she moves on. That's what has been happening so far. For me, this is by far the worst mission, to be honest. I just don't really understand why escort missions are a thing. But especially if they're as slow as this. I mean, this is just atrociously slow. And this is no exception. All of the missions are pretty much this slow. All of the escort missions. The thing is that this is pretty much it. This is the new patch. I have by now shown you basically everything you can do as far as I am aware. Because, you know, the patch notes are there, everything is there. And yeah, the 4 new game modes. It's either an escort quest, which I don't think you want to be doing, but you know, I'll leave that up to you. Or it is one of the 3 other quests in a very, very small room. You need to defeat a bunch of enemies. And yes, there is some small variation in these enemies. But I would argue that both Onslaught and Headhunt and whatever the third thing was called, they are pretty much all the same. There is really not an awful lot of variety in these things. Which I think is kind of a shame, to be honest. There is not a whole lot there in terms of new content. However, it does create a nice mix-up, because there are quite a few things you can do now these days, which I think is worth mentioning. If you purely look at the new content available, I don't think that it is all that impressive. But if you combine everything that Wolcen has done up until now, it's, I would say, quite good. Thanks so much for watching and sticking around till the end. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed it and like the video for the algorithm. It really helps and I really appreciate it. See you soon. Love you all. Bye bye.